Hey guys! Welcome to the channel. I realized that the Notion video has blown up and is the most watched video on my channel so far. And a few of those I know are also trying to learn how to use Notion. So I'm starting a new series about Notion in a more tutorial style than fully scripted. So let's get into it. Let's move on to my actual screen on Notion. So hi! We're now on my Notion page. Well, right now I have the page set up with just the title and then the copies of my semester database, which I actually have in the template links that should be down below. And then after this, I'll see how early I can actually get a kind of mini document up so you can actually go through it and then save it on your own Notion if you need a guide. So I will be continuously referencing these so you could see a more practical version of it compared to just the more showcasey version I did last time. So, Notion tutorial part 1. So this is part 1 because I'm just gonna go explain the menu that you're gonna get if you type / for commands, the basic shortcuts, and just anything you need to know just to start out. And then I'll make subsequent videos about the more advanced things like maybe k-tex and formatting and more complicated stuff on tables and formulas. So right now, Notion tutorial part 1, really beginner friendly. So once you get this, you name it, and then you have add icon, add cover, and add a comment. So if I want to add an icon, I click it, it pops up. So you have access to the entire emoji library if you want to. You can just assign it to a random one if you really can't pick, or you can upload an image. The cool thing about uploading an image is, if I go here, and I really want to, for example, I want a, let's see, what do I want? Let's say I want a pineapple. I can actually upload the GIF or GIF of the pineapple as my icon. I'll say GIF because that's how I'm used to, but see, look, it's a bit too big for the whole, like, icon thingy. Let's try the flowers. Maybe the flowers would actually do better. And there you go. So the flowers are there, and if you want to add a cover, you can click over here. It'll give you a random cover, and then you can upload your own. They already have these. You can upload your own, you can link one, or you can just search for one. I'll just say this one, and then you just let it load. So we'll just keep it like that for now. Don't worry, I'll have the tutorial ones on the template links, so you don't really need to like take screenshots of this, and it'll look a lot more aesthetic over there, so you just wait for that. Okay, so now we start. So, you know, really basic. You just type, you know, gibberish, type some anything, and that's just the normal text. I'll teach you more about formatting the text later on. So you push / and, you know, text, and then you get page. So if you click page, it'll open a sub-page in this Notion tutorial page. You just, you know, have a title, so let's just say title of sub-page. Then you can have it can have its own icon and its own cover. There. We'll just keep it like that for now. And then you'll just see the title is title of sub-page, and the icon is there, and you can change it by clicking. So if I just do a smiley face, it'll be a smiley face. If I do, like, I don't know, mind blow, it'll be mind blow. That's how I got these two. So this is just a school like emoji, and then these are GIFs that I uploaded the same way I uploaded this one. So there you go, title of subpage, and in the subpage you can just have another full thing again. So this is basically like a Google Docs inside another Google Docs inside another Google Docs. And then the next one we are gonna go is the to-do list. So you push /, next is the to-do list. So it's basically, you know, a to-do list. You put a task in there, push enter, next one, and then you can just check it off, and then it makes it lighter and put a strike through it, but it doesn't delete it. You can actually do the deleting thing like later on in more advanced things, but we'll stick with just doing that for now, and if you want to get rid of it, you just get rid of it. There you go, and that's the to-do list. And then if nothing's on there and you push enter, it'll just clear. Next are the headings. So you /. This is a heading 1, so big heading. Then you get heading 2, less big heading. And heading 3. Not really that big heading. There, so you can actually see the difference. These two are a lot less pronounced, but you know, that happens. And then next is the kind of lists. So the bulleted list, the numbers list, the toggle list. Now the interesting thing about this is that you can just go like that. So level 1, enter, right? You push tab, it'll move. Level 2 and level 3. So it's just, you know, circles. And then push enter and then move back. If you want to get the numbers, go to numbered list. Level 1, it goes back to 1 because you move it, right? Level 2 and level 3. The cool thing about this is, for example, if I do 1, I click this and then turn into bulleted list. This turns into a bullet instead of the number. So you can also do that to format your bullets. And then you get the toggled list. So if I just say content over here, that's it basically. Then you push this and it says empty toggle, click or drop blocks inside. So when I say blocks, it means one of these. So this is a block because it has this like 6 dots. Then you move it inside like that. You can just go like that. Actually, that's not inside. Move it inside. There. Now, once it moves inside, you can just close and open it again. It basically just hides the information if you really want to, just for, like, if you want to keep your Notion doc looking really clean, you can use the toggles. Next, oh actually, by the way, since we're on the subject of toggles, you can also use different commands inside the toggles. So there you go. You can use all of these commands inside the toggles, and these are the commands we'll be discussing today. If we go over here, we push slash, we can get a quote. A quote is just a line on the side, and then this is a quote. Enter. And then it just has that. And it's pretty simple to know what a quote is, and it basically makes it a little bit bigger than the rest of the text, so you can actually see it. Then you push that, and then you can actually have a divider. So there you go. Really clean, really small, thin divider in our thing. But if you want like a slightly more interesting divider, there are a lot more divider options out there. One of them I will actually get to show later, but this is the most basic divider option. And then there are others that are like copy-paste dividers. There are some that are photos. There are some, yeah, there's just a lot of them basically. The next is link to page. There you go. We just have to find it. There you go. Link to page. What do you do in link to page? Well, this is all my pages. I can actually just do, for example, I want to link it up with my templates. So the templates that I have for this channel. And what it does is it just links it. You just click on it, it goes back. Now let's push the back button to go back to our original thing. And that's what it does. You just click it, it goes. And then it says here that there's one backlink, meaning that it's telling you that, hey, there's one page that kind of references this page and can go to this page. So in case there's like a permission issue. So let's go back. And this acts as a entire block, which means you can like move it around and its entire line. A block is basically a line. Now, through that we can do a call out. So actually what you can do is when you do this, you can just type and it'll search for it. So call out. What is a call out? So this is a call out. A call out is like a box. And what you can do with the call out is if you put this in, oh, by the way, if you hover over text, you can change the type, what it is, or you can change what type it is. You can change, or you can link it to something, which I'll show you later. You can comment on it, and then all of these bold, underline, underscore, strike through, and then code, equation. But if you go to text color, you can actually see all of these. So if we go default, and we go default, oh, actually this is how we do it. So we go over here, default, and go over here, default. So it just it's white, basically, but it's like a box. Wait, oh, there you go. It's just a box. Then you can change like an image or an emoji beside it, but also you can change up the colors. So if you change up the backgrounds, the boxes become very, 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 very subtle backgrounds. So if we do red, you can actually see, there you go. It stands out a lot more with the red. And then this is a call out, and then what you can do is click on that, and you can also change the color of the text. But the issue is when you change the color of the text, the entire box doesn't color. So that's just a trade-off you have to do. There you go. The next is a little bit more advanced. So over here, it has something called mention a person. So if there is a person sharing your Notion doc, you can actually kind of tag them. The equivalent of like on Messenger, if you push the @ button, you can actually do that here. But I won't mention a person because I actually have real life people in my Notion doc, so I don't want to dox them. Okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but that just happened. Okay, next is mention a page. So if you mention a page, what I can do is I can actually link it to my template. So if I go made by Maisie templates. And you might be wondering what's the difference between that and this. This is an entire block. So as you can see, it stretches all the way from one side to the other. And this one, you hover over it, it just highlights itself. Why? Because you can type beside it. And you can actually do that. You can just link it back. It's the same thing. But at least you can be like, please refer to this page, and then someone can click on it, goes to that page. But you can also type beside it, and that just gives you a little bit more flexibility than this, because you can use this for like a table of contents or something, but you can also use this for just, you know, referencing it, and you can reference it over and over and over and over and over again. Then the next one out of that is the reminder. So go slash date or reminder. So for example, today you will what? You can just type beside it. You can also do the same thing if you do the @ symbol, but the @ symbol exposes all my contacts, so I will not do that today, but you can try it for yourself. Now, next is, you can see there's a lot of emojis actually that are being used if you choose to use emojis. So all the emojis are open. So how do you access them when you're typing? You can just go : and then you just type in the name of the emoji. So happy. Then you can see all the happies, or you can actually see what they're called. So let's just put like a raised hand emoji. Then you can just pick whatever color you want, and there you go. Now you have emoji on your text. Yay! And that's how easy it is. So you can just search for the emojis, or some have a built-in emoji something. So you can also do that if you really want a shortcut. Next, inline equations. So let's go to inline equations. There you go. It's basically an equation. So if I go A plus B equals C, and that's just, you know, how they make it look like in your math textbooks, because this is K-Tex. This is LaTeX actually, but they use K-Tex for Notion. So I am actually planning on having a mini K-Tex tutorial for Notion, but in terms of actually designing and not math, because I'm not really a math person. But yeah, since it's an equation, you can actually do this, and then that symbol is an exponent, so, you know, exponent. And that's how you use the inline equation if you're not doing the complicated coding stuff. Next is the more complicated, not really complicated, more of the more complex parts of Notion. So we'll start off with a table. So you can see table, there's an inline and a full page. I'll show you the difference. So if you push table inline, it's here. It just appears on your screen. But if you go table full page, it opens. The thing is, if you click over here, let it load, and there. You don't see the actual table over here. So even if it's over here on this page, you can type full page table over here. You can just see that, and you can just change your icon because it's an actual full page that contains a table. and this is a table contained within the page. I'm not sure if that's understandable, but that's my best explanation for it. So now what you can do is, this is basically like a spreadsheet or an Excel file. So name, item, and then tags. This is called multi-select. So you can make it a text, a number. It's auto-formatted. You can make it like a select screen, a multi-select, a date, a person, files, checkbox, URL, email, phone, and then these are the more complicated ones. I'll show you those later. So for example, for text, you can literally just type anything. So we'll call this text. Type anything. Next is the number. And then we'll call this number. Now, if you do that, so if I type my name, you won't actually see it because it's not a number. And then you can also format your numbers with, for example, if it's a number with commas, percent, dollar, euro, whatever. But if I do like 1, 2, 3, it stays. So that's how it works. Now, push the plus button, go over here, select. What does select do? So select gives you options to choose from. So for example, A, and then B, and then C. So option A, B, and C. And you can just pick between those, and that will be an accessible thing for stuff down the line. So for example, this one, the option I chose, so I'll put here, option. I can choose option A. Then for this one, I can choose option B. So it's accessible for all the rows. But what is multi-select? So if I go over here, actually, let's duplicate this. Duplicate. So there, copy of option. Multi-select. Multi-select. Now we change it to multi-select. What you can do actually in multi-select is, as it says, select multiple things. So I can actually assign A, B, and C to this. But for example, if you go here and you're like, I want B, it clears out the A. But for this one, it doesn't. And then over here, we go for date. So you can just add a date. And then these are all the options you have for date. Then move over here. We have person is the same thing I said a while ago with mention a person. If you share this with other people and they're also working on it, you can tag them. Files and media is just an upload thing. A checkbox is literally just a checkbox. Then over here, you can have a URL, and then if you click the arrow on this, if you look at the preview on the right side, there's an arrow on the screen. If you click that, it'll link you to that page. But there's also an easier way to link pages on Notion. Email, for if someone has an email address, for example, like a contact sheet, and then a phone number. Now let's get into the more complicated one, which is a formula. A formula is a lot like how you use Excel. So you click on this and then just go edit formula. But since it doesn't work, the headings are letters and you can't necessarily click on them, you actually have to use this. There you go. You have to use the property name. So make sure you actually give your columns really nice names, or at least recognizable names when you use them. So for example, number. Property number. Then all of the operators are here. Just comment down below if you want me to do a full tutorial on how to use tables. Yeah, just make sure to tell me because I want to know what you guys want to learn about Notion, because I've been using it for a year now and I've learned a lot, but it was through a lot of hard work. So if I can compress it and make it a lot easier for you guys, then just go tell me what you want to get taught in the comments. My brain's not working today. Just tell me what you want me to make a tutorial of in the comments, and then I'll see how well I can actually explain it to you guys. So there you go. So you can just do that. For example, go property number plus 1. You can actually just do the math things that you do in Excel, but it's a little bit different since not all of these are the same type of thing. So you can actually do it with strings also. Strings are just words, so you can combine words essentially, and then you can chop up words into its parts of the word and then see how many letters you have. So it's a lot more like coding than Excel. Or actually, it's a lot more like Python than Excel if you are familiar with Python. Then over here, you have something called a relation. it allows you to link pages from other databases. What that means is, for example, we go to full page table and then we say link here, right? And then on the tags you're like, it's a thing. There. So link here and it's a thing. By the way, if you go over here, you can actually click on the why is there an open option is because it's a page. It's an entire page. You can actually type in here if you really want to, but some choose not to because it gets a little complicated when you have all these on a table. But if you really want to, you can open it, type some stuff in it. You can use it to sort your notes out if you really want to. So now you're wondering, what is a relation? So it says select the database. If I put full page table, so it'll connect to full page table. Create relation. Now what does that do? So I'll call this full page table relation. You can assign one of these into one of here. So basically we're trying to link item to link here. Click on it, you see link here. Now they're connected. What does that do? You're basically telling this row that it's connected to link here. But why does that matter? That matters if you go to a roll-up. A roll-up is basically connecting these two together. So since it's connected to link here, you can configure your roll-up to take from full page table relation and then get the property of tags. So now, you look at full page table, it says the tags are, it's a thing. If you go out here, you can actually see it transferred over here as well. And also, on the full page table, it says they're related to untitled database, which is the one outside over here. So let's move to a basic look at a table over here. So let's go to my simple database. Look over here, it's a table. This is what it looks like. And then I use the check marks to just do the checkbox. I do the title, basically this part of the table itself. There is the select tool for class, because you don't really have multiple classes on one task, and then a due date. So you can go like that, and then it becomes like that, right? And then this is a linked database to this database. So I will explain that later on, but this is basically how I use a table. Let's go back. So over here we have this and it links, and that's your table, and that's one of the more complicated ones to use on Notion. Now we go to a board. There, a inline board. What does this do? You can just move stuff around. And like a table, each card is its own thing, is its own page. And then these are actually just properties. So you can just move it around. You can rename these properties to whatever you want. And then you click on it and you actually see the status. And that's the most basic use of a board, because it's actually a Kanban board. If you know that type of organization style, it's kind of like Trello. So do that. You can add more if you really want to. I can make a more complicated one, like a more complicated in-depth video on this. Just let me know. And then next one is the gallery. I've used the gallery before. So look at it, it's really, really, really long. But what you can do is go over here, properties, and then card size. You can make it small so you can see it. What this is just, it shows a kind of look of what's inside. So right now, since this has a to-do and a completed to-do, you can actually see it. But you can use this for a lot more than just seeing what's inside the page. So if you go to properties, there's a lot more properties over here. For example, if you have tags, you can just make them show. But I will show you on a more practical application later on. But this is just, show on first load, card preview, page content, page cover. Now, let's show on the aesthetic thing. There. So this is actually a gallery. And since each thing is a page, you can actually click on it and it's an actual page. Now, the photos. You're wondering, why is that the photo when this is the cover and the photo is over here? Well, that's because my settings are set to show, actually not show on first load, card preview page content. If I, for example, do page cover, it'll show the covers that I put, which are the skies. But if I change it back to page content, since there is a photo inside the page and not really text, they opt to show the photo a lot more. So that's how you use a gallery. You just push this, adds more. Go back. So now, our next one is a list. So let's put list. List, there you go. Inline list. It's basically, a list. It doesn't have the complicated squares of the table. It's just your pages in a thing. I've used this before for meetings, for minutes of a meeting. So at least you have meeting 1, meeting 2, meeting 3. That's kind of how you use it. Then you might be wondering, since you can show tags over here, which I've actually shown. Let's go. These are tags. So by the way, if you want to see, these are tags, and then you can make them be displayed through the properties thing. So if I do remove day, you can see it change. Okay, let's go back to what I was saying. So a list, you might be wondering, where did the tags go? So if you have, for example, this is a tag, click, it'll show up on the end. So you can use this to categorize topics and stuff that you do. So, I'm just trying to keep it as the most basic uses of it as possible, then I can expand on them later. This is a calendar, and it's a calendar. So if you add an item, for example, today, and then just go event, the date becomes a property. There you go. And why is that important? It's because you can add a view. Add a view basically allows you to look at it this way. So now we know that there's an event on this day. Then you can turn it back into a calendar and you can see it on the calendar. Then a timeline is what it says, a timeline. So you know that this is assigned the property of June 5 to 8. See? June 5 to 8. You can stretch it out and it shows where. You can make it like a day. And basically, you're able to see that. And if you want to add a new page, you just click. And just like the others, this is a new thing. And just like the others, you can click on it, it becomes its own page, and then you can have a status, which is completed, and then you can actually show it through the properties status. There you go. It shows that it's completed. So that is a timeline. So we go over here. We go to create linked database. And this is what I was trying to show you earlier. A better thing for a linked database is if we go back to the simple database over here. So this is a linked database. What does that do? So for to-do list, it basically links it. So you go, hello. It links it to here, and it also links it to here. So you change something in one, it affects everything. And that's basically a linked database. You can do that for everything. So you have a calendar in your opening page, but then somewhere deeper within the page, you have another calendar. You can just sync those up, so you won't have to keep updating all your calendars at the same time. Then the next one is, we're actually getting to the end, which is image. So we go to the media tab over here, image. An image is basically, you can just upload it. For example, if I want to have this watermelon that's getting eaten, you just let it upload. It takes a while sometimes, probably because my internet connection isn't that good. But there, let's let that upload. But that's basically an image. You can add a photo or a gif. You can upload, embed, use Unsplash. Basically, you can just keep a photo over there and it keeps it up. Now we go to next one, which is a web bookmark. What is a web bookmark? So let's try to put my channel. Oh, misspelled my own name. Create bookmark. What it does is let that load. There. Now you can see my channel logo and my intro and the link, you can click on it and it'll take you straight to my channel. So it's kind of like the URL thing I showed you a while ago, but this one click and you're there. Is the watermelon done uploading? Apparently not. So I'll keep going. So next is video. Why does it matter for a video? Well, you can keep a video over here. You can push the play button, for example, for YouTube. I have the link to my latest video. Embed. And that should put my latest video over here. Watermelon, what's happening to you? Aww, it can't be loaded. So let's try to replace it with a other photo. Let's try other watermelon. So there, you can actually see my video. You can play it. It'll keep playing if your Wi-Fi is pretty good. But see, it doesn't really have a limit. You can scrub through it like you would a normal YouTube video. Now we go to audio. Oh, there you go. So you can actually see. Play the video. See? You can actually hear the audio. I'm not sure if you can hear it because I didn't turn on my recording for audio. Now we can go to the actual audio. You can upload a MP4 file or MP3 file, not MP4, and then, or you can have an embed link. So this one is the link for my musical study instrumentals. But just a quick warning, Spotify can only play for 30 seconds. Why? Because Spotify wants you to play it on their web app or their actual app. So just be wary of that. I heard SoundCloud actually plays your entire playlist, but you might have a limited number of songs that you can actually pick. Now we go to inline code. Oh, just go code. There you go. This is inline code, which is basically you can just type code. So, for example, integer x is equal to 3. And you can see it highlights the variables. And I do have a bit of history with coding, so if you also have coding classes, you can use this to keep your code so you can actually see where the relevant parts are, basically. And you can also use this to separate info. So, hello, everyone. This is separate info. There you go. It might highlight it a little bit, but I'm not sure if it matters to you or not. But it also helps separate info if you really need it. Now, if you go file, you can upload a file. But I don't really have a file to upload. But the thing with this is if it's a PDF, it will not show your PDF. It'll just be a click link to an Amazon AWS server where you can actually see your PDF. So it just saves your PDF, but it doesn't display it for you. I suggest that if you want to display your PDF, you just take a screenshot of it and upload it as a photo. So apparently this doesn't want to work today. So let's try a photo by Unsplash. Try this one. So apparently it's my Wi-Fi that's the issue. So there you go. And then the last one I want to teach you for this it's getting pretty long actually. The last thing I want to teach you is Markdown. Markdown is how to format your text while typing it. So if you want a bold text, so just go 1, 2. This is supposed to be bold. 1, 2. Ta-da! And then if you want to do italics, 1. This is supposed to be italicized. Spelling. There you go. Done. Then we'll call this this is code. Oh, there you go. And it turns into that it's kind of like an inline code thing and not really a code block like the last time I showed you. Over here, you do a squiggle. Cross this out, squiggle, and it crosses it out. Now here is where we get to the shortcuts for the things over here. So the simplest ones are you do a asterisk and you push space, it turns into a bullet. Same thing for a dash and a space turns into a bullet, and a plus. So if whatever you're using for your notes, if you're used to just a dash and then space and then just type your notes, you can do the same here. So if you have notes, it's here, and then you do the enter tab to go lower or shift tab to go back. So the same thing. If you want a checkbox that's square brackets beside each other, and that's a to-do list, to do, shortcut, there, it still works as a normal to-do, and then you can just go like that to remove it. If you want to do a numbered list, you just do the normal thing, space, numbered list. If you want a heading, you go one hashtag, space, that turns into heading 1. You do 2, space, heading 2. You do 3, space, heading 3. If you want a toggle, you just do this. So that is the greater than sign, space, oh, there, space, turns into a toggle. And if you want a quote box, you just do quote, space, and then it turns into a quote. Now, the last thing I'm going to teach you for this tutorial of a thing is highlighting. So if you go like this, you can go like this. Color, you can say, get purple. If I want purple, that's purple. And you can layer that with a background. So purple and green. Oh, actually, oh, never mind. The line is green, but you can make the individual text purple. There. And this is where the thing I told you comes in, where if you want a better version of a divider, so this is what a divider looks like. If you want a better, more clear, more colorful version of a divider, like this, color and blue. So it just becomes a thicker divider. You just don't type on it, just push enter and then it'll go. So you go over here and then blue. There you go. Now you have divider up top. There. So now we will tackle a little bit of this sidebar over here. So you can change the fonts from the normal default. You can change it to a serif, change it to a monospaced one. Just depends on what look you want. So we'll keep it on default for now. You can make the text smaller. So if you have a lot of text on your page or like a very text heavy thing, you can make it smaller. And full width. Full width is a game changer, honestly, for me. You just go like that, and there you go. This is the edge of your makeshift paper now. Because usually it's like that. You can stretch it out, and then it'll stretch up to this side as well. Then just a bunch more things. You can customize the page, lock the page, stuff like that. More complicated things. But that's basically what it is. So you can actually do /color. This is green. There you go. And that's how you color it. I hope you guys like this long-ish tutorial for today. And I really hope that it helped you figure out Notion if you're just starting out. If you have any questions or requests or comments, you can just leave them in the comments below. And then I'll try to answer them as best as I can or make a full video out of it if it's a really, really complicated topic. So if you found this video interesting, hit the like button. And if you want to see more videos like this from me, then hit the subscribe button and the bell to know when a new video is out. I try to upload every week, Monday nights at 8. I guess that's all for this video. Bye guys!